What's up, you guys? Zoeb here from OneGlanceTrader.com, and in this video I'm releasing the OGT CCI Trend Pullback Indicator version 1.0, and we'll be going through all the input settings, the buy and sell signals of this indicator in this video, and then I'll be sharing with you a longer term trading strategy that will complement this type of trading approach. So if you like trend trading and you don't have time to stare at the charts all day, this is the video for you. And if you like the sound of that, all I ask from return is that you smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. So, as you guys will know, if you've been following my channel, the CCI, or the Channel Commodity Index, is the last indicator of this trend pullback series. So I've created 4 different types of indicators of trying to find pullbacks within trends, and I use 4 different types of indicators. So the CCI, which is I'm releasing today, we've done one with the Bollinger Bands, the RSI, and the stochastic. So the link for all those videos are down below if you want to grab those indicators. Again, they're all absolutely free. And if you guys also remember, I've created EA versions of this as well, and you guys can check out the playlist of that down below, of where I back tested those over 5 different currency pairs across the whole of 2020. So overall, the kind of results were really encouraging and really positive, but you guys wanted the indicator versions because we're not going to take every single trade that the trading strategy gives. And for the EA, it did take every single trading strategy and utilizes the average true range for reward to risk parameters. But now what this does is it prints signals when the trading conditions are met, and then it's up to you to whether or not you want to take this trade or not. So what we're going to do firstly is just have a look, see what we got on the chart, and then go into the input settings of the channel commodity index. And if you don't know what the channel commodity index is, it's very similar to the stochastics and RSI. It's an oscillator that ranges between movements of where you have overbought and oversold levels, and traditionally it's around the 100 plus 100 for overbought and minus 100 for oversold. And with the CCI, it does get to some extremes. As you can see over here, it's the low over here is at minus 485, so it can range there, and you can customize these settings, and we'll go into that in this second. So we have got the Euro USD inside here, and we've got the 4-hour chart. And if I go into the indicator settings and I go to the CCI trend pullback, you will see here that you can choose your own period. The standard default on MT4 is 14, applying to the close price. And then, as I said before, you've got your oversold and overbought levels. And then what it does is it utilizes a moving average in terms of filtering signals. So we'll only look for overbought, oversold signals depending if you're above the MA or below the MA, and the default is the 200 exponential moving average. And again, you've got your traditional kind of pop-up alerts and alert sounds as well. If you've got the app, this is a great thing to have, so you don't have to always have your eyes on the screen and things like that. You can just wait for the alert to come on your MT4 platform. So what we've got here is, you can see you've got up signals and you've got down signals here, and I'm focusing on these kind of areas over here because we've had a nice downtrend recently since the mid-June up to today, and we've got some signals over here. And the way it works is if price is below the MA, as you can see here, we've got the 200 moving average here. If the price is below, it is looking for where price is overbought, sorry. And when it goes above your set criteria of 100, and when it drops underneath 100 at this level here, it will print a down arrow. As you can see, it does the same over here, and over here, and over here, etc., etc. And it's got a few up arrow examples. Prices above the 200 MA, and then as you can see here, price drops underneath minus 100, and then when it goes back up and closes above minus 100, it will print the signal over there. So that's how the indicator works, and the way that the EA was programmed is when it printed a signal, it would open a trade on the open of the next bar and use ATR settings, so the average true range, to do your stop loss and take profit depending on the reward to risk that you defined. So, on majority of the currency pairs over a year period, I think it did about just under 400 trades per currency pair, if I can get my words out. And I think we did this across the 15-minute or 30-minute time frame from memory. We'll have to go back and kind of have a look at that. And it was profitable. I think on all of them bar one, I believe it wasn't profitable on from memory. But again, all those videos are down below, so you guys can go check those ones out. So if I focus on these ones over here, if you look at it now, just looking at hindsight, majority of these, depending on where you put your stop loss, all worked out inside your favor, especially these ones over here. We continued this kind of downtrend, but you wouldn't know that. So what else can you add on your screen, or what other indicators you can overlay to give you more confidence in terms of taking these kind of signals? So what I've done is, and what I like to use, and this goes into the kind of the longer term strategy, is I'm overlaying two additional indicators. Again, they're both free. Links are down below for the downloads and for the tutorial videos. The first one is the OGT round numbers indicator, and what this indicator does, it provides horizontal lines at 0 levels and at 50 levels. So we add those on there now. You can see here that it adds these lines on here. And what these lines are, these are natural support and resistance lines. And I've gone through this many times on my channel. You can see that over here we've got some support. Over here we've got some resistance. We've got a whole bunch of support at this level over here, some resistance, and now you can clearly see here we've got some support at this kind of level over here. And what I like to do is I like to see, when I get these prints of these down signal or buy signals and sell signals, where is price in relation to these natural support resistance levels. And then what I also like to do is, what you guys will know, is I like to use pivot points as well as natural support and resistance levels. And because we're looking at a 4-hour chart, we're not looking at lower time frames. This is mainly down to, again, a lot of people have been asking about longer term time frames. I don't have time to go on the charts. Is on a 4-hour time frame, I like to use weekly pivot points. And again, all there's a lot of settings inside here, but I like to just display the pivot point. I'm only showing the last 10 bars back, but it doesn't matter in this example here. So you can see here what it's doing here is printing the weekly pivot of the last 10 weeks. So over here, and now we've got some more information over here. And what I've done is, so I could get my trusted stylus out, is I've just taken a screenshot of this chart, so you guys can have a look at in terms of what we're doing. And the areas or the 4 symbols I want to focus on is these 4 over here. And I wanted to show about how you can create a nice trading setup using multiple kind of indicators. So we can see here that we've got this impulsive move down, we got a pullback, and then another leg down. Again, you wouldn't be able to see any of this price action. None of this price action existed. All we have is that and that here with some signals pointed out. So what information can we look at now to say, would this section be a good signal to trade? So what I like about this area over here is, you can see here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 signals, all roughly in this kind of region over here. And if you look closely enough, you'll be able to see that not only is price reacting as a resistance to the round number level, but what it's also doing as well is, you can see a weekly pivot print at a round number level as well. And I've talked about it before. When you've got pivot points printing, or the weekly pivot or daily pivot printing on a round number level, that is an extra, what I like to call a barrier, whether that's from a support perspective or a resistance perspective. And that is something that you can trade off of based on currently where kind of price is. And the fact that we've got price hitting once, twice, three, four times at that level and getting rejected, and we've also got four signals over here, that strikes me as an area where you can make a fairly safe kind of trade. So let's just say, for example, you wanted to take this one over here, yeah, and you guys will know that I like to look at take profit and stop loss targets. Where do I like to look for a take profit? I like to look at previous lows, which is one here and one over here. And funny enough, they both are at round number levels. So that's great there. And so I'll be looking at a take profit target of this line here, because that's the next level that price, if it's going to go down, that's the next price level where price wants to go to. Where would I set my stop loss? Now I could set it above this high over here, or if I was a bit more conservative, I would set it just above this round number level over here. So let's just say I got it at that round. I would probably, this would be just under a 1-to-1 reward to risk ratio, because you'll be getting in at this level over here with price there, and then a slightly bigger stop loss target, which is fine. I'm all up for having a negative reward to risk if the probability of price going down is inside your favor. And that's exactly, as you can see here, what happened in this particular situation. What you could probably have done is, when price hits this pivot level, bring your stop loss down back to above these highs, or a 1-to-1. At least then you know that price is going inside your favor at this point over here. Now, just very quickly, when we look at these particular two sections here, I'm less fond of these particular ones over here, and that's why. So it looks good. You got up, move down, leg, move down, up, and then down again. The bit why I don't like this is because we're not printing at a support and resistance level. And then, as you can see here, if you look at the aggressiveness of this leg is less, this leg is less aggressive as well. Even though we got to the lows of these levels here, we are still quite far away from the moving average, and we know that price likes to get to its moving average as time goes on. That's why at this point I'm not convinced by that one, even though that the trades did actually work out, and this trade in particular also worked out as well nicely. But you can see here that we are starting to get a loss of momentum, and you can see here as well, at the same time, the CCI is not really making any new lows. And again, looking at bullish divergence here, is price is making lower lows, but the CCI is not making lower lows as well. If anything, it's making equal lows, or even slightly higher lows. So that's the bit here that I'm not really convinced on. I'll probably throw up a MACD on there as well, just to see from a divergence perspective. Not to say that price can't continue to go down. That's not what I'm trying to say here. What I'm saying here is that the odds aren't in your favor the more and more you try to get into a trade. But that's definitely not what I wanted to do. But what I am saying is when you've got the leg down, and then you see resistance at a round number level and at a weekly pivot, and you've got another indicator that is overbought at that level, that to me is a very, very high probability, low risk trade to be going on. And again, you've got 10 to 15 currency pairs that you could run this on the 4-hour chart, and it moves very slowly. As the name suggests, it moves every 4 hours. You've got time, even if you get in slightly late or you miss it, or by the time you get home from work, to analyze the charts. It will only take you a few minutes a day to kind of really scroll through all the charts, and the indicators have done all the work for you. You don't do any calculations or anything. And again, like I said, you can put the RSI on, the Bollinger Bands on, you can put all the indicators on, all the pullback indicators, to see if you're getting a cluster of sell signals around that kind of area there. And that's traditionally what will happen there. And that's what you want to do, is you don't want to be selling at these levels here. You want to be selling at these levels over here, but making sure that you've got the probability again of hitting these lows or the next logical lows there with a nice coverage from a stop loss perspective as part of that. So I really hope you guys found this useful. On the screen now, you've got the playlist of, all about pivots and my missed pivots rollover strategy, as well as you've got all my other indicators that I've released. The download links below, absolutely free. Subscribe, hit me up with some comments, or drop me an email, and I shall see you guys in the next video.